Have you ever wondered why some brands just stick in your head? It's not magic, and it's definitely not an accident. It's a really powerful strategy called brand positioning, and it's all about carving out a very specific, unique spot for a brand inside a customer's mind.
So, to get us started, just think about this for a second. What on earth do Nike and Disney have in common? I mean, on the surface, they couldn't be more different, right? One sells high-performance sneakers, the other sells, well, magic. So what's the connection?
And there you have it. They both managed to boil down their entire identity into a super powerful three-word phrase. It's called a brand mantra. Think of it as a short internal slogan that just captures the absolute essence of the brand. For Nike, it's all about authentic athletic performance. For Disney, fun family entertainment. Now these mantras, they're the amazing final product of a very deliberate process. These guys have totally mastered their brand positioning. And the best part is, it's not some kind of secret art form. It's actually a clear, three-step framework that any brand, and you, can follow.
So here's our plan. We're going to start with what positioning actually is. Then we'll walk through the 3 key steps: defining your frame, figuring out your difference versus parity, and then finally creating that killer mantra. And we'll wrap it all up with a great real-world example. All right, let's get into it. What are we actually talking about when we say brand positioning? So here's the official definition. It's the act of designing a company's image to occupy a distinctive place in the mind of the target market. The key words there are distinctive place and in the mind. See, this whole thing is a battle for perception. It's not about what you say you are, it's about what people think you are when they think of you.
You know, a really great way to picture this is to think about walking into a party. To join a conversation, you first have to find some kind of common ground, right? But to be memorable, you can't just blend in. You have to say something that's uniquely you. Brand positioning is exactly that. It's about fitting in just enough to be understood, but standing out just enough to be chosen.
Okay, on to step 1. Because before you can even think about standing out, you got to know who you're standing next to. This is all about defining your competitive frame of reference.
So looking at our framework, we are right here at step 1, determining that competitive frame. I mean, think about it. You can't decide how you want to be different until you first know who you're being compared to. This is the foundation for everything else that follows.
The New York Times is a perfect example. You might think their main competition is, I don't know, the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post. But really, their competitive frame is so much broader than that. They're competing with cable news, with your Twitter feed, with podcasts, literally anything vying for your attention. Getting this frame right is the first huge decision.
Okay, so once you know what playground you're in, it's time for step 2. This is where we figure out that whole party dynamic, what makes you special and what just makes you a legitimate player in the game. Let's start with the fun stuff, your points of difference, or PODs. These are basically your superpowers. They're the things that customers connect strongly and positively with your brand, and, this is key, they believe they can't get from anyone else. This is what makes you unique. Think about method cleaning products. You walk down the cleaning aisle, and they just jump right out at you. Their point of difference is that gorgeous, stylish, eco-friendly design. It doesn't look like any other cleaning product, and that is 100% the point. But here's the thing. Being different isn't enough. You also need what we call points of parity, or POPs. These are the must-haves, the absolute table stakes. They're not unique to you at all, but if you don't have them, customers won't even consider you. You know, a bank has to be secure. A car has to be safe. You get the idea. So let's go back to method for a second. That beautiful bottle is great, but if the stuff inside doesn't actually clean your kitchen counters, you're never going to buy it again, are you? Effective cleaning is its critical point of parity. It absolutely has to be just as good as its competitors on that basic promise.
So you see the tension here, right? Nailing this balance is absolutely everything. Your points of parity get you in the game. They show customers you belong. But it's your points of difference that give people that compelling reason to choose you over everybody else.
Now, some really clever brands take this a step further. They actually try to plant one foot in 2 different categories at the same time. It's a strategy called straddle positioning. And BMW is the absolute master of this. With one foot, they are firmly planted in the luxury car world, competing with Mercedes on comfort, status, and lifestyle. But with the other foot, they're in the high-performance category, claiming to be the ultimate driving machine. They successfully straddle both of those worlds, which gives them really unique advantages in each.
Okay, so once you've figured out your frame and you've nailed that balance of parity and difference, you get to the final step. How do you distill all of that hard work down into something simple, powerful, and memorable? Well, you create your mantra.
And look, we're right back where we started. Nike's mantra, authentic athletic performance, isn't just a catchy phrase for a presentation. It is their internal compass. It guides every decision they make, and it perfectly captures their points of difference, authenticity and performance, all within their athletic frame.
So, how do you make a great one? Well, a solid mantra has to check these 3 boxes. First, it has to communicate what business you're in. Second, it has to simplify your core message down to its essence. And third, and this is the part people often forget, it has to inspire your own team. It's for them just as much as it is for the outside world.
Okay, so that's the theory. Let's put it all together and see how this actually works in the real world with a brand I'm sure we all know, Uniqlo.
Let's break this down. Uniqlo's frame of reference? It's the super competitive world of global fast fashion. To even play in that space, their points of parity have to be affordable prices and on-trend styles, just like their rivals. But their points of difference are what make them special. Their made-for-all philosophy, their focus on high-tech fabrics like heat tech, and that built-in perception of Japanese quality and design. That unique positioning is exactly how they've built a global empire.
And that brings us to the end. So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're thinking about a brand you really love, ask yourself, what's their position? Can you actually boil their entire essence down to just 3 words? It's a really fun exercise, and I promise it'll change the way you look at marketing forever.